Professor featuring Sky Zoo and Anno Domini Productions. Let's get it on, baby. Yo, what up, friends, ballin' buds? Back at it again, and yes, you know that we had to come back as what was a crazy weekend. All everyone is talking about on the internet is what happened in the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight on Netflix. And wow, so many opinions out there and so many opinions right here. And you came to get the best of them. So welcome to Ballin' Buds. Make sure you subscribe at BALLAND BUDS on YouTube. Handy QR code over there on the side. You as well got Clubber D's YouTube at Clubber D. I as well got Josh from 86 Boxing at 86 Boxing, and as well 86 Boxing TV. And finally, Clubber D, who we got?
Right as I take a sip. People high and low, left and right to left, forwards and backwards. Heavy on the Poppy, light on the Yayo. None other than Poppy Chun Yayo.
Yes, sir. That's right. You know what's cracking, man. We had an inciting week of boxing, and I'm just looking forward to talking that trash.
Oh, I'm excited to see what you have to say, especially because I've been seeing you run the internet's ablaze, as they say. But let's get some comments here real quick. Boz 2.0, shout out, salute. We appreciate you tuning in. As well, Bobby C355 is known as Bobby G, the tribal chief of podcasting. What up, brother? Yeah, we'll see what happens with that bet. We'll see what happens there. We'll see what happens, Bobby G. He was ducking and diving a little bit.
You can't make stipulations after you bet somebody. You cannot make stipulations. Nah. Take a Achilles heel on that shit.
That is great. So we'll post that out on Sunday Showdown. Shameless plug every Sunday after the day games, before the night games. We review all your NFL and college football. So check us out. Me, Clever D, Dirty Mojo, and Shane Peach. But no, what we came here to do was talk boxing, and wow, it could be considered a stain on the eye of boxing that Anthony Joshua even let it go that long. But we saw a track meet. We saw one man running for his life. Like he knew, and that was the plan. That was his plan all along. He said it beforehand. But there are all kinds of rumors about scripts. There are all kinds of, potential alleged lawsuits. Jake Paul's broken jaw, which, by the way, that punch, which I know we're going to talk about. Oh my God, that was one of the most crucial. And we'll talk about the rest of the card as well. We'll save that for just a little bit and to get y'all a little hyped up before we actually get to the main event there. But before that, let's talk about Alicia Baumgardner. Right, 3-minute rounds for women. I know there was a lot of talk about this in the Boxing Champs. Oh, by the way, before we get into that, if you want to get in the Boxing Champs Fight Picks group, free to play, win money, hit anyone up here. Shout out to Champ Ross. We appreciate the great job you do. All you have to do is pick boxing match outcomes, and you can win money for free. Hit us up. Thank you. Hit that like button as well. So yeah, thinking about that, Alicia Baumgardner, complete domination. That girl looked like she had been through 2 wars by the time the 7th round had come around. Clever D, what are your thoughts on this fight?
You know, I was happy she's getting the shine she deserves. I was nervous, if she had a gas tank, because she kind of fades a little bit in fights, and she hasn't really been active. I think she's fought like 2 times in maybe 2-3 years, maybe something like that. Because I know she had that break in fighting from the test, the sample coming back positive, or she beat that. But I thought she looked good. I'm interested to see if she's going against Du Bois' sister. That'd be very entertaining. But I'm happy that she got to show that she belongs on that stage, and also she can do the 3-minute rounds. And a big FU to the WBC for not thinking women can fight for three rounds. I think that's ridiculous. I do understand the 2-minute rounds where it's like a firefight. You want that, but it's equality. If men can do it, they can do it too. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, and I like the idea that I saw floating around the internet of letting the champion choose. If they're the champion, let they choose if they want 3 or 2-minute rounds. If they can do it, they can do it. Because obviously that girl Layla Boudin was not ready for that. Alicia Baumgardner dragged her into deep waters and gave her, as she called it beforehand, a well-seasoned ass whooping. Joshua, what are your thoughts, my friend? As I call you by your full government, I apologize there, my friend.
No, that's what's there. That's what's there. No, I'm cool with it. So I thought it was there's an impressive nature to her going 12 rounds for 3 minutes defending her title. So that in itself deserves not the performance. Yeah, I thought she, for the most part, dominated the opponent that she was in with. And you could tell by the end of the fight, just given the face of her opponent. So I think that kind of showed how the fight went from an overall perspective. And Alicia did pace herself. So it ended up going the distance. She had some moments where it looked as though she might get her opponent out of there, but she wasn't able to do so. And I think that came down to some of the pacing. So decent performance from her from an overall perspective. Hey, I agree. If the women want to go 3 rounds, they can. And I say it was solid and impressive in doing that, I guess, on this larger stage. But most certainly there are women out there that I know for a fact can do the 3-minute rounds. So just being around the sport, then this is a thing. So it's just a matter of when will something major change, I guess you can say. Or I guess you can push it, as you noted there, as champion and make it sort of a mandate for you on the individual side as the boxer as well. So again, solid performance there. And I want to note that Alicia was cleared, but if I recall correctly, she was cleared by the WBC.
Yep.
The same one that didn't give her this 3-minute round right there. So I don't know if that's full clearance, but that is a sanctioning body providing clearance.
Interesting.
I mean, the WBC has been in an inordinate amount of controversy lately, from the Terrence Crawford, which they basically pushed him into retirement, to all this other bullshit that they're going through. People dropping their title left and right. Baumgardner here in that case. I know 2 people that I would have loved to see, and I'm pretty sure I speak for Clubber D on this because we mentioned it both times. 3 minutes would have been those Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano fights. That's what I would have loved to see. 3 minutes. Let them girls get another minute of that.
That would have changed the outcome for sure.
Taylor ain't want that.
Papi Chunyeo, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, man. Y'all know how I said it beforehand. I think that there needs to be like some sort of boxers association for women and men, and I think the organizations need to get together and actually ask the women what it is that they want to do. Like, what do you guys want? How can we help make this sport better together? Right? Just ask them, because, like I said, we've interviewed, countless numbers of women, and we've yet to have a single one say that they did not want to go 3-minute rounds. We always ask them that. And we do know that there was one person who objects to it. That's Katie Taylor. That's because she's the juggernaut, bitch. You know what I'm saying? She get tired. She run her head into everything. You know what I'm saying? She's a professional brick breaker. She just go around just breaking bricks with her forehead. That's why it's tough like it is. You know what I mean? But look, man, Alicia Baumgardner, man, hats off to you. I'm gonna tell everybody just like this. If you sat there and listened to that bogus ass commentary, you would actually think that they weren't doing a good job. But look, this is the second women's fight that has had 3-minute rounds. The other one was with, Amanda Serrano and another girl, and they threw probably 2,000 punches total. Like, they threw 1,000 punches each, right? So dudes ain't doing that. But let's talk about the Alicia Baumgardner fight, right? So 3-minute rounds, amazing for me, because it allowed the women to not have to play rock'em sock'em and just get in there and just bang it out. You actually get to see the skill set. You actually get to see somebody get tired and make mistakes. You get to see the difference in skill level with that extra minute as well. So the only thing that I see that maybe could be worked on is like her trainer has to give her some more information in the corner, because, you know, dudes that are fighting 3-minute rounds, they know, okay, look, at this point, I can step on the gas because there's such a big difference and get them out of there, because now I know all their tricks. I've pocketed that over the last 5-6 rounds, right? So now I'm going to step on the gas and get them out of there. We didn't see that with Alicia. We seen her stay in the same gear. You know what I mean? So she stayed in the same gear the whole fight. But I thought it was great, man. I thought it was good for women's boxing. And for all y'all haters out there, look, man, yeah, she shot her shot at Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua shot his shot at her. So what? They're professional boxers. Both of them are single. Let them do their thing. I know everybody's out here, you know what I'm saying, me gazing and, you know, this and that and the third, you know what I mean? But good to you. If you can go ahead, add them to the resume if you can.
I mean, they was both sitting poolside. They didn't look like that. I mean, they look good together as a couple. If that's what they want to do, let them do it. Hey, shit.
If you had another AB, he'd give you all the info.
Let's get some comments here. Salute Technique 539. We appreciate you, brother, for tuning in, and everybody as well. Papi Chunio did put in that link in there for y'all in the comments, so it is there if y'all want to join that predictions league. Shout out Bobby G says one wrong punch can alter your life even in 2 minutes. Let these women fight. Let the women fight. Let these women fight. They know. Let these women fight. They know what they signed up for. I missed that comma there. I say that it's just
yo, man, we ain't judging you, man. Ain't nobody making hooked on phonics jokes.
Let these women fight. They know what they signed up for. So,
true.
I mean, that is true. Again, I think the champion should be able to choose there, and Bobby G will hit me with a comment with a comma next time. So I have. I love you, bro. All right, Boss says I got to go to sleep. Take care. Hey, we appreciate you for tuning in.
No, Boss, stay up.
Have a good night.
Hey, hold up a second.
Where you're coming from, but that's got to be Shakur or Tiafimo. I'm not sure where this question came from, but hey, out of left field. Yaz Share. Salute for tuning in. Anybody on this one? I'm sure this is some sort of inside
Kurt. All I gotta say, Kurt.
Hey man, Bob's gonna have to explain that RoboCop outfit he got on. That's something different right there.
You always look at everybody's profiles when they comment.
No, bro, I can see the picture when it pop up. I got a.
It do like a RoboCop out. It does look like RoboCop.
Bob's got the RoboCop outfit on. You feel me?
Murphy.
That's tremendous.
Anyway. Got the hairline like him.
Yeah, again, champions choosing, but yeah, overall, Alicia Baumgardner just more skilled and more ready for that type of match. That other girl was not ready for, and they hyped her up to be, and it just did not turn out that way. So, anyways. All right, y'all. Anybody watching, hit that like button. As we keep it moving, make sure you tap in with everybody here. What do you think? Hit us in the comments. Do you think that women should fight 2 versus 3 minute rounds? Let us know. This is a really hot debate on the interwebs. It is, my friend. I know you know grammar. I know. I was just, I like messing with you. It is better though. I do appreciate it. All right, cool. Now. We have to move into what was, the main event, but also the main clown show, if you will, for some of us. What was put out to us to be an influencer turned pro boxer, a influencer who, yes, may not have fought any true boxers, had fought enough good competition, we were told, to be able to be in this sort of situation. He tried to fight the smaller man in Tank Davis. That didn't work out. He had to go to bigger competition, being turned down by multiple people until Anthony Joshua took him up after being previously knocked out by Daniel Dubois back in 2024. So he was coming off that layoff of his own. The problem is Anthony Joshua is a true heavyweight, 4 pounds taller and about, 50 pounds heavier, probably, something like that. So what we learned very, very quickly, and you could see it, gentlemen, when they came into the ring, was the stature of Joshua. The first thing that came to mind when I saw them lock up, as they say in wrestling. I know they don't lock up, but
oh shit, he tripping.
I thought this was Glass Joe versus Mike Tyson. Like, that's in Mike Tyson's Punch Out. That's what it looked like to me. I was like, oh, he's about to get his ass demolished. But we also know Jake Paul said he was going to run and try to stay away as far as possible from being hit whatsoever. Not only did he do that, but he did it for a lot longer than people expected, which made this seem to be more of the clown show as it went on later and later, as Anthony Joshua himself before the fight said that it would be a disappointment to him if he didn't knock him out in the first round. Papi Chunyeo, you were very, very loud about this on the Boxing Champs Picks group. Talk to us. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, man. I mean, just to recap what I said in the previous show, I said that if Joshua didn't knock him down or out with the first brick that he landed on him, that is the fix is in. Like, you know what I mean? That's how I saw it. I saw that if this is supposed to be a real fight, there's a lot of money. A lot of money is up, and it seemed like this was supposed to be a real fight. That's how they were selling it. They were selling us wolf tickets, obviously. That's what he does. He sells wolf tickets. He's not a serious dude. He's a good businessman, but he's not a serious dude. Basically, what we saw was we saw the exclusive introduction of the duck butter flavored lip balm, the AJ version duck butter flavored lip balm will be dropping, because all we seen was your boy topping him off the whole fight.
Oh God!
13, he had his head in my man crotch more than he did standing up, bro. Like, I mean, what did he come to do, boy? He said, oil him up. He said his old lady said, if you don't do it, I'm gonna do it. So he said, look, I take it 13 times before I let you do it, baby. Please don't leave me for him. I can't, I can't compete with that. So he did it. Duck buttered flavored lip balm, the Anthony Joshua version. Call it the AJ duck butter lip balm. That's what we got out of that fight, bro. Takedowns. You know what I'm saying? Facing the crotch. Man, they say he got his tonsils removed before the fight so he can get it right. No. Gobbled him up, bro. Like, come on, man. That, like I said, listen. But on a serious note, he gobbled him up. But on a serious note, though, like, we got to give a dude credit, whether he's a scumbag or not. We got to get a scumbag credit for lacing him up and getting in the ring with a real boxer, a real heavyweight, a dude who could actually, could have broke his skull. We talk about that later, but he got in there with him, and it was a track meet. He's a runner. He's a track star. You know what I'm saying? It was a track meet, and it's just, I told you guys, man. I said we're gonna end up talking about this dude and this fight more than we actually talked about the women who he says that he is supposed to be putting at the forefront of this thing. He had the women fighting on YouTube, y'all. Understand that. They wasn't even on Netflix. He had them fighting on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? And if let's say we don't know what the numbers are, but they're saying there's like upwards of $180 million that was out there between the two of them, right? I guarantee you, if you add up all the salaries for the girls, that they didn't even get a single million. What are we doing? What are we doing?
You mean aside from the Baumgartner and Dubois fight, right? Because they were both on the Netflix card.
But we're talking about the bread. These are prize fighters. They signed up to be prize fighters from their preteens. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you put them all together, you don't get $1 million for their salaries probably. So what are we, bro? $180 million, you can't give them $1 million, bro? What are we doing? I mean, seriously. Yeah.
I'll try.
That's really how I feel about it.
There's nobody. I don't. Undercards ain't gonna get that much, even in men.
They shouldn't have been on the undercards. We had a 50-year-old.
I get you. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. But people know who they are. You know what I'm saying? If this was just a card to showcase young talent, yeah, I get that, but you got to get people to come buy tickets and put asses in seats. Not many people know who Daniel Dubois' sister is. So if you put her on the main card, who's going to buy a ticket? Where the money coming from?
And not many people knew who Anthony Joshua was. That's why there's a viral thing going on with all the women. That's all they talking about is AJ. They act like this was the first time they seen him. They thirsty.
Boxing fans aren't majority women. You know what I'm saying? Like the dudes who bought seats to get in that place knew Anthony Joshua was. The people, I'm all for. Trust me, I'm with you with women getting money. I want that to happen. However, I can't put on Sally from down the street if she's just an amateur and put her in the main card because nobody know who the hell she is. You got to put the donkey in there to watch the donkey fight the lion, and maybe somebody's going to see that person and make it build. Because I looked at the numbers, like just with Bumgarner alone. Okay, when she fought Michaela Mayer on ESPN. 3 years ago, it's at 812K viewers on YouTube. Okay. I looked it up. Now, 3 days ago, Netflix put the clip up. They're already at 308K in 3 days. So that's exposure that she's going to get for that next fight that she can catapult and justify being her own main event.
Well, you said Netflix, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't fight on Netflix. They fought on YouTube.
No. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about Alicia. I'm talking about Bumgarner, just the way they're
promoting. But this event was supposed to Jake Paul's cards are supposed to be for women fighters to get their exposure.
This wasn't a women's fight card. We all knew that.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't. They were supposed to be Chris Weidman and Anderson Silva. Okay, Bumgarner was the co-main event. Nobody knew who the undercard was. They didn't promote that.
We know who the undercard is, right?
Because we watch boxing, but average person saw Anderson Silva and saw Tyron Woodley, and they're like, "Oh, whoa, they're boxing." You know what I'm saying? Jake Paul.
Okay, let me ask you this though, because I know you were heavy on the MMA side, right? Yeah. Would you prefer to have uneducated fans that are MMA fans over in the boxing lane, talking serious business to us guys who actually know what boxing really is about, or would you want boxing fans who don't know anything that much about MMA, takedowns, all that stuff that goes with the MMA stuff? Would you want some boxers to go and perpetrate over in the MMA world and bring their fans with them? Imagine a Tank Davis fan, the Tank Davis fans coming over there to MMA.
I mean, they already got them with John Jones fans, but are we talking as a promoter or as actual just a fan?
As a fan.
To be honest with you, I don't care because if I hear some dumb shit, I'm not going to engage. I'm going to walk away.
I think they're here already.
You know what I'm saying? They're already here. You hear what they say about Ryan Garcia?
Yep.
You hear that. So let's not act like boxing fans. We ain't got the dumbasses already. You know what I'm saying? We got people calling Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson runners, but they won't say shit about Jake Paul running around the damn ring. You know what I'm saying? So we already got it. So there's not that many. Like, we watch boxing after dark. We watch Tuesday night fights. We watch the fights on Friday night fights on ESPN. Yeah. A lot of these guys didn't watch that stuff. They only know, the top people. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, Tank Davis would have beat anybody. Oh, they're scared to fight him. That's what they'll say stuff like that. Or they'll say, this is how I know a boxing fan. They say, oh, yeah, that guy made a lot of money. Is it yours? Why you care? Does he got talent?
Different
That's what
question.
I care about.
Different question. Would you? Okay, so do you think it was okay for Jake Paul to fight a 135-pound fighter at his 212-pound self?
Stupid. It was dumb.
Okay, so then you got 212-pound Jake Paul fighting a disadvantaged Anthony Joshua. They made him do a weight cut so that he wouldn't come in. For those of you who don't know, heavyweights don't be doing weight cuts like that. They be putting the food in. You get what I'm saying? They're building. So now you got something that's level, but he disadvantaged. He put Joshua at a disadvantage.
I think that has to do with the sanctioning in Florida because Logan Paul had a cut for Mayweather for that to be a fight. So I think that has to be with the state. Certain states have different rules on that stuff. So you cannot outweigh somebody by a certain amount. I could be wrong for their particular thing, but I know for Logan and Floyd, Logan had to cut weight for that fight to happen for it to be sanctioned. So I think it could be something like that, but it could be, he had to cut. But I think that's dumb. But if I'm making 50 mil, I'll cut. Shit.
Yeah, see, man, that I don't like it. Deontay Wilder was 214 and Tyson Fury was in there about 272, 290 on fight night.
You know what I mean? Big as hell.
So, that's the heavyweight division, and he's fighting in the big boys division. So if this guy wants us to give him full credit for what he's done, then I'm gonna give him full credit for the clown shit for sure. Because that's what I see. I see clown shit, and I don't like to do moonlighting in boxing. So I'm just I'm an advocate for women. I'm always advocate for women because their voice is it's not loud enough over here on the internet, and we're trying to give them a platform so they can come and get their opinions off because they're participating in the sport too. Their say needs to be heard.
Yeah, let me get some comments real quick, and we'll get right back into this. Just make sure we're giving shout outs to everybody. Thank you, Peach, for your always being there to correct me. I really appreciate it. D Clubs, your brother. 3-minute rounds. Why not? I think we all agree. Shout out to y'all. Salute for tuning in. Boz 2.0. True. Paul deserves respect. Let's see. Bobby G. Netflix owns the footage. Also says 240 pounds isn't a disadvantage when your opponent is 216. Very true.
Yeah.
And then Boz says Haney is just not a finisher. Going back to the Haney mention there in that conversation. Look, this is what I'll say. Because Clubber D and I have had plenty of episodes on this because we did advocate. We always advocate for women, but we did advocate for Jake Paul's involvement in boxing solely on the fact that he was promoting women's boxing in such a good way. Now, if you're telling me every woman on the card wasn't on the Netflix, but at least you had Dubois and Bumgardner on the Netflix, those are the only two I would expect to be on the Netflix card because Netflix also only gives you a certain amount of time for you to feature enough bouts. That's why all the wrestling companies do pre-shows on YouTube because they can feature all their other people like that. That being said, I completely agree with you. I think women need a bigger voice in this sport. Jake Paul has been that as much as we may hate him as a boxer. But again, hopefully they do get more promotion. Amanda Serrano will be the vice president of his company after her fight. So hopefully we'll see more and more of that going forward. But I think we can all agree that women deserve more in the boxing world. When it gets to the actual fight in itself, I agree with you exactly. Jake Paul was oiled up, ready to perform fellatio any chance he had. Oh, my man. So it was a game. It was a troll. He trolled the shit out of all of us. He sat there. He stuck his tongue out when he was getting hit. He ran. I remember in the third round, he had 3 for 12 connected, while Joshua had 5 for 17. And I just looked at myself and I was like, why am I doing this? I was like, I could be out on the cruise open bar just having a lot of fun right now, but I'm in the room watching this fight. But in the end, we all got what we wanted. We wanted to see him get his ass knocked out. He got knocked out. Did we see it in the time we wanted? No. I said KO3. He wanted KO1. All of us wanted us to see it early. Yes, it's a stain that it didn't happen earlier. But in the end, we did get to see him get knocked out, which is what people have been begging for years. Is it not, Josh? You haven't talked. Come on, get in here.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm with you there in that regard. I thought, let's not kid ourselves. This is one of the greatest heavyweight bouts we've ever seen, if we're being honest with each other. All right, let's not put that aside. I'm just kidding, folks.
Okay. Woo! I was waiting for the other.
I'm just kidding. Come on. But here, so I have a few things, of course. I've said this before. The novelty aspect of boxing has long been a thing, even going back to the 1800s and prior to that, really, even when you're talking the bare knuckle world. So you've always had these kind of weird situations in the sport where you would have traveling champions and they would open or issue challenges to anyone. For instance, I brought this up in the last one. I brought up John L. Sullivan. A lot of his fights, if you look at BoxRec, you'll see his official record, and you'll see probably about 40 fights there. But that being said, he's estimated to have had around 500 fights because he would travel to these different locations, theaters, etc., and challenge any man available to stand with him for 4 rounds. And if you could do so, you would win a certain amount of money, which would have been pretty substantial for you back in the day there. But that being said, times have shifted somewhat, shifted a bit more, and we're now in this social media stage. And I think that while boxing has continued to go on, certain elements of it no longer, or many people no longer know about some of these older times and old novelty and things of that nature. And then there are different instances we've seen over the years where you might have a Muhammad Ali versus Antonio Inoki, but those are huge names that were just relative to their sports and all that stuff. But the social media world,
that was groundbreaking at the time because they were two of the legends in their own sports, though.
Yeah,
these were two legends. Okay.
So the social media aspect takes it to a new level, because if we really look at it, let's say if we use 2005 as sort of a marker, because that's when a lot of the big social media platforms took off, and now you have these individuals, these stars that are essentially like stars or celebrities of the past that we would only see on TV and stuff. And these individuals off of social media, they have a larger following than some celebrities and things of that nature that we know of. I can think of some that I absolutely knew nothing about. I Show Speed, and this guy, the top streamer on YouTube and all of that stuff. Apparently Jake Paul, I actually had never seen anything with Jake Paul prior to him boxing, when he boxed
Nate Robinson,
his first fight, whatever. But I knew who Logan Paul was. I just didn't know that connection was there. So because I never saw anything with Jake Paul or whatnot, so I didn't know who the KSI guy was when he fought Logan Paul. But I would see him on these Mayweather prediction videos on the Mayweather YouTube channel, and I'll be like, who is this KSI? I knew he was a British guy, but I thought he was just someone who maybe was boxing and on the come up or whatever. And I say all that to say we now reached that stage where, hey, these individuals, they have a lot of buying power when you think about it from a social standpoint. And because of such, they're able to come in and maybe skip the line in a traditional sense, as far as what some may have to do to get to this point, to get a fight with Anthony Joshua. If you're just a heavyweight on the come up, you're not going to get that. Of course, you will have to have done something, had some accolades in the sport. You know what I'm saying? But as Clubbers are noting there, money talks. So I do agree that there's a financial aspect of it. And when that happens, not that it's a good thing necessarily, but when you bring those finances in, they'll make pretty much whatever has happened. Because I alluded to previously, I know at one point, Jaime Munguia, when he was on the come up, he was not widely known, but starting to build a name. He wanted to fight Triple G as a replacement for an opponent, I think, that ultimately got injured or something for a fight. And the Nevada Athletic Commission denied him that opportunity. That being said, would this same commission deny Jake Paul an opportunity to fight with Anthony Joshua when we know that difference between Jaime Munguia and Triple G versus Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua is, a vast margin right there, talking about Grand Canyon style. So it is an interesting thing that we're at this stage now, and I suspect we'll see more. They've carved out a niche in terms of misfits boxing, and apparently people are paying for it. I think these are not necessarily boxing fans that are, diehards or who will follow the sport for the regular or young boxer who's coming out of the amateur ranks and all of that stuff and making waves. I think they're in it just for that sort of environment, event type situation, and then seeing some of their streamers, YouTubers, or whomever they follow pretty much fight, because there's something entertaining about that to a certain degree, I suppose one would say. But I think that's kind of just the stage. I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon. Now, on the side of the women, one thing that Ernest mentioned that I definitely agree with in terms of the purse aspect of it, as far as Anthony Joshua making, let's say, $60 million, I think that's what it is, or somewhere to that. Jake Paul making somewhere near $100 million or something of that nature. And those are such large sums. So the question is, for those that were on the undercards, do they benefit as lucratively for them from a career perspective as those two in that single fight? Because I'd imagine everyone on the undercard hasn't made as much as those two have made in this single fight right here. And that is something of question there. If you want to push the issue of, hey, should these women have more if they're fighting on this card? Maybe your purse is reduced. Say you don't get 100 million, you get 50 million, and then the rest is dispersed to some of those others. Now, of course, we know you're the name bringing them in, but also you're that power player changing the sport, changing the paradigm there for women in the sport of boxing. But, you know, that's a larger issue, and I would certainly like to look into that a bit further. But I do agree that I think Jake Paul, all of these women signing with him, that is saying something, whether that's about the promoters, the other promoters that are out there, or just how boxing operates in itself and what they're getting from it. Because Amanda Serrano, who's one of the top in the sport on the women's side, she speaks nothing but essentially praises for him. And of course, she is the big name fighter that he has under his umbrella right now. So that makes it interesting, you know. And there's a lot of other women who are some of the top in their divisions and relatively around it that have signed with them. So there's something to that. Maybe this is the promoters thing. Maybe they're getting what they can't get from these traditional boxing promoters, and they hold fault in that as well, I would say.
Well, what they got is Jake Paul can sell boxing, stage boxing, promote boxing, sustain attention around it in ways that few people can because of that social media presence, because of that not even a boxing promoter, but just promotion in general, marketing, digital marketing, social media. I mean, you can say whatever you want about him, but the fact that the two of them are bringing in a combined, $180 million for this fight, yeah, I can guarantee it's not going to the lower fighters. I tried to look it up while y'all were talking. I could not find any official figures for the fighters from Baumgardner and below, because they're probably not making nearly as much, and they don't want that to be publicized. I did find out Tyron Woodley made $2 million as a late replacement. Anderson Silva $500,000.
Come on, and no, bro. See, listen, there you go. You said
I'm telling you the news.
You said Tyron made $2 million. This dude has been in 2 boxing fights, and he been ass up. He been ass up Diddy style. You think
he was called in late to get his ass knocked out? He negotiated against boxing.
There's no way Tyron Woodley deserves to make $2 million
That's wild.
in a boxing match, bro. He got
$2 million. That's wild.
Yeah,
that's
come
what
on,
he
man.
allegedly said in the article I read. So
yeah, we ain't doing that. I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying, man. It just proves my point even more.
I don't know how legit that.
That might be off. It said Anderson Silva got 500,000 and 35%.
Whatever they got more than them female fighters.
Yeah.
Look, what I'm saying is that they would not have had that fight at all if it wasn't for Jake Paul. There would be no 190 million for anyone. That none of these fighters wouldn't have had shit.
Pretty much.
If it wasn't for him.
Much.
So as much as I don't like the guy, as much as I think he's ruining boxing, if you want to have $200 million on the table, you need someone like him, or a Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather. Or
look, there's not $200 million on the table. That's the point. That's why I'm saying he's pimping the sport. There is not $200 million on the table. That money is he's cashing out, and AJ's cashing out, and those 2 MMA guys are cashing out. None of those aren't boxers aside from AJ. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to the bank for what, man? It's a clown. It's a clown show.
This show 100% is a clown show. I'm not denying that at all. I will say, just for my quick little rundown of the fight, it reminded me of Rocky when he fought Thunder Lips, Hulk Hogan. You know what I'm saying? When he looked up at him, instead of bench pressing him, he was grabbing his leg like he was Jeff Van Gundy and which part was Alonzo Mourning. So he just ran and all that shit. But besides the point, besides all that, When I say he does well for women's fighting is when he's behind Amanda for the first Katie Taylor fight when they sold out the Madison Square Garden. He's behind women boxing when he puts on an all women card that he's done. That's the type of stuff I'm talking about. I'm okay with him doing this stuff when he puts them on the undercard. Yeah, cool. Yes, he can showcase them, or just showcase one fight that like Amanda Baumgartner trying to make her a name, like he did Serrano, because her and Katie Taylor had all those viewers because everyone loved their fight before Mike Tyson fight. It was probably the fight of the night. So that stuff I respect. This other stuff I can't stand. I'm not a good with that. I don't think anybody is that's a boxing fan what he's doing. But however, I can appreciate what he's trying to do for the women, because when he does those cards, he ain't acting all wild, acting all crazy. He's letting them do that. He ain't Puffy dancing in the front. He's being Suge Knight, letting them rap on their stuff. Now on his stuff, he acts a buffoon, obviously, but on their stuff, he doesn't do all that shit, and that's why I don't mind him doing that.
No, he is though. All of his promotion is bad, bro. It's
the
ridiculous.
Serrano Taylor fight, I didn't see him. I saw them two piping that fight up when they had their card.
No, I'm talking about like, so he's in charge of the event, right? He's the head man on the event. So
for his event, I'm not talking about his event. I'm talking about their event for the women. For the women, he's in the background, but he's promoting it. But it's his company, and they're fighting for. That's what I'm talking about. For his shit, yes, I'm with you on that. But when you say it's a women's show, He in the back like Suge Knight. He ain't dancing in front like Puffy.
No. He is Puffy. He all up in the background in the ring, putting belts on, dancing in the video. Yeah, he is P Diddy.
People didn't pay to see
a lot of the promoters. They be in there afterwards. You know, a lot of them be in there in the ring there afterwards.
He is the P Diddy of boxing.
But hey, I wanted to note this two things there. Of course, or at least the first thing I would say is, I think, there's an element of a few different things, but it was only last year that, and I know this because the Fighting Marine Stephanie Simon, she fought on this card. There was this card on Brinks TV at the beginning of last year, and this was where Stephanie made her debut, and basically Alicia Baumgartner, this was her last fight, I believe, prior to this one, or it might have been the one before that. But I think it was the last one prior to this one. And the purse bid at the time, which was, if I'm not mistaken, $500,000, was the highest that a women's fight had ever received in boxing history from all indications. And people can look this up. But this was on Brinks TV, which was a network that's no longer around. But it was started by this guy who was the sports science guy on ESPN when that started to get developed. Then he eventually sold that to ESPN, right? And so just think about that. $500,000 was the highest purse bid at that particular time for a women's fight. Now, I suppose that on this particular card, everyone who fought on there, they may have made I don't know for sure, but they may have made the highest payday of their career. Just think about it from a boxing standpoint, all of them that were involved in all of that stuff. So I guess there is some solace there in the sense that if that is the case, you do get the highest that you've been paid. Now there's still that question of, could there have been more, would say some sacrifices from the person up top. And also it'd be interesting to know that say they have that 100 million, or say Jake Paul made 100 million. He is the co-owner along with his partner there of MVP Promotions. Like, what operationally from a cost perspective comes out of that? Do they get this solely like, hey, you're getting this amount? And say he does get it solely, what comes of, I guess, his finances as far as the MVP operations? Maybe all of that is covered by the different sponsors that he has. Maybe that is covered by Netflix. Those are the types of things that you look for. Of course, sponsorship, the promoter, or sponsorships, the network, and all of that stuff to help offset those costs. Then you have the fighter purchase, so on and so forth. So that would be interesting to know as well. But I will say some strides have been made, but certainly on the women's side, we're not where we want to be, because it's certainly not the case outside of MVP Promotions in terms of some of the top women that are there. Though we did see Clarissa Shields sign an $8 million deal there with Salida Promotions, which is a smaller promotion, but bigger in, I guess you could say, the network of boxing, but smaller relative to the largest promoters that are out there. Now, she is at the top of the women's sport, and it's $8 million for her there, which of course I'll take it. We'll take it, lucrative amount and all of that stuff.
Well
but
deserved.
Still, just look at the numbers. That I think that's multi-fight. That's a contract from a multi-fight perspective. And just think about a person making 60 million in one fight or 100 million in another fight. It's just mind-blowing in some sense.
How, bro? I'm telling you, man, the stuff that he's doing, it feels like there's a mob or there's some type of, some type of secret society in here that's money laundering and washing their money through the sport. I'm saying, I'm gonna keep it real.
I wouldn't doubt that there's some of that.
You know what I'm saying? Like how do you have that much money to just give away to people? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you do that? I know who's really winning. Intuit Taxes. They're winning because when they tax that 50 million or that 94 million, they're gonna get paid. They were the largest sponsor. They were the largest sponsor that was on there.
I'm so glad you said that, because the governments of the United States and especially in the United Kingdom for Joshua are about to tax the shit out of him.
About that.
They both taking
like
30%.
half or something.
That sucks, man. I'm like, oh, that fucking blows, yo. You're losing 67% of what you just made in taxes. Like, that's crazy.
They ain't even got to push when they do it. They just sit down and fall out.
Right. Government just be out here assaulting folks for no reason. But when you said this, Yayo, I think you're wrong. I think Turkey would work with Jake Paul. Yeah. I think he would, because I think he is about money as well.
Hey, for your sake, I hope he do, because I'm going to roast both of them. For real. He talk about Tom and Jerry with Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah.
What did Jake Paul do? Jake Paul was that was some really Tom and Jerry type shit right there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Listen, I promise you, man, I got to bring this up because that's the type of shit I do. But no black person in this world will have the opportunity to do what Jake Paul is doing. He got the complexion for the protection. I'm telling you that right now.
He does.
There are plenty of funny people out there. Cat Williams is a funny dude. He said he could run the fade with Kevin Hart. He said, "What you want to do? We could put gloves on or what?" You did that happen?
But I just think about what Josh put out there earlier with KSI's Misfits Boxing. That's huge. They got millions of followers. They just came all the way to Nashville and put on a show, and I saw it, and the whole place was packed. So these influencers, even though they don't know how to box, even though when you watch them, you're just watching to laugh at them because they're shitty boxers and you just want to see them knock each other out, it sells and it makes tons and tons of money.
They should do that. Jake Paul should go park. He should park his ass over in the Misfits as far as fighting and boxing, and he should promote women's boxing. Like, you can do both. But just don't parade around in the real boxing and try to make everybody think that you're a real boxer. This is like a wolf in sheep clothing. You get what I'm saying?
The problem
think about it like this. Think about it like this. So when fighters, typically their first 6 fights, first 10 fights, whatever, they're usually fighting dudes that got records like 2-55. They've been knocked out 47 times, and they're gonna fight a person like that, right? This dude, Jake Paul, has so much money that he was able to do what the amateurs are doing, except for he's doing it with the legends of combat. Bro, that shit is bogus as fuck.
Well, it's
not on that level.
It's not. My bad, Josh. I would say this.
No,
I will say, who did Lomachenko fight in his first 5 fights? So, he fought champions, got a world title shot with a second, third fight or whatever, and that's I was like, how the hell he get this? But
nobody else get that opportunity.
I know, but Jake Paul gets it because on his Instagram he got 28 million followers. Boxing's in a state where they need fans, and they don't care how they're going to get them. Okay, if Jake Paul was Ronnie from Wegmans, they wouldn't care. But he's Jake Paul with 28 million Instagram followers, and I don't know what he got on Twitter and the other stuff. They know he has high budget sponsors. Now we say complexion for protection. iShowSpeed was in the Royal Rumble 2 years ago. How the hell is he getting the Royal Rumble? Okay,
yeah. Well, I mean, he has 21,000 people watching him take a nap.
Exactly. So it's not about their background. It's about how many eyes are on them and how much money are they getting from these people, because these companies just want the money. They don't care about the fans. They just want the money. So
Yeah,
they're
man,
gonna put
I can't do this with y'all, man. All money ain't good money.
Well,
I can't
Big
do it.
Million,
I
us doing
can't
it.
do
It's just
it.
the reality.
I can't do it.
Reality.
I can't do it.
Okay?
It ain't us doing it.
Listen,
It's what they're doing. It's the reality of what's going on. I mean, I'm gonna call it out. It is what it is. I don't like it, but what am I gonna do?
Maybe
I
maybe
can't
the
write a
one
letter.
hit wonders, maybe the one hit wonders were only one hit wonders because they didn't want to have them dudes go get them dildos out the dishwasher and jam them in for them to make another track.
Nah, Vanilla Ice couldn't rap. He couldn't rap. He stole that. He stole that.
You
stuff.
get what
Vanilla
I'm
Ice couldn't
saying?
rap.
So I don't think you should do a deal with the devil in order just to get money, man. When you sell out like that, they're absolute. He's a vampire. We let the wrong one in, and he's sucking the life out of boxing. And
Blame
all
the
anybody's
WBA
talking about is
for
him.
ranking them. Blame the WBA for ranking them number 14
Yeah, that's
in the
crazy.
country.
That is
Blame the
certainly
belts.
crazy.
Okay, that's the problem. It's like I just said. It's the promoters and the belt, the commissions that are letting him do this because they're getting that money.
The
That's all it
commissions
is.
are, yeah. So that's a larger
corrupt.
part of boxing,
Boxing.
and one of the issues, and Ernest, you mentioned earlier, unified commission or something that's not happened in the history of the sport, and doesn't look likely to happen unless you want Dana White to come in, make those changes to the Ali Act, and then it comes about like that. You know, folks, if that's what you're seeking, then that could be it. But that being said, that likely won't happen because these states, much like politics, they want those rights and control there on a state's basis to handle things there from a jurisdictional standpoint within what they control. And I say that to say I've brought up this sort of, I don't know if it's an analogy or what, and it's sort of, I guess, an unfortunate thought in the sport. But let's say you have a champion. Let's say you're from Omaha, Nebraska. We'll just use Terrence Crawford for example. Now, he hasn't fought a ton of fights there, but just say you have any random person there. They're from some smaller town, even smaller than that. If you have a guy or a woman who is considered to be the top of their sport, they just so happen to win a world title or whatever it may be, there is incentive for that person to compete and operate in your town, state, commission, jurisdiction, or whatever, because of the fact that, of course, this is going to bring people in. This is going to bring money. This is going to help to generate things in that particular area or whatever. So there's an incentive there, and that makes you think about how certain things are allowed to take place. Of course, Florida is one of those states where a lot of things can happen that are sort of foul by comparison in other areas, but Florida is a place where you can pull off a Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul as a legitimate fight from a sanctioning standpoint. Now, that being said, once the numbers are added up, I wouldn't doubt that a state that may have more strict regulations, I guess you could say, I wouldn't doubt that they would find some kind of workaround or whatever to make it happen as well because of that financial aspect. So and that's, well, yeah, I don't agree with it. I don't think that's a good thing. And sort of like what you said there, Ernest, all money isn't good money, but I don't think it's going anywhere. Jake, he hasn't been flash in the pan in the sense of coming in and then he's out. He has seemingly made an effort to do things in the sport and continue to train and all of that stuff. We're still having his fights here, I guess, 5 years in, because I guess he started in 2020. So he's still around. How long he'll continue to go, maybe he'll get in the background at some point and all of that stuff. And then we'll get to see how his impact is without him being sort of the centerpiece on the card and all of that stuff. And we do get a sense of some of that with most valuable prospects. When those promotions take place, I think they are well run and the production value is top tier. Now, that could be because it's not just him and it's that other guy who I can't think of his name, who's like a co-founder for him. He seems to have an eye for certain types of things. But I like some of the things they do from an overall production standpoint.
I mean, look, go ahead, yo.
No, I'm just gonna say, man, when we look back in history, we're gonna look back at the tidy whities of boxing. There's gonna be a big old doodoo stain on it, and it's gonna be funky than a motherfucker when you go back and look at it. You're gonna be like, damn, this dude, this motherfucking social media influencer with the Habsburg jaw and the hobbit's foot under the beard came into boxing and was able to do what? He did what?
Yep.
God dang. Bro, people are gonna stop believing that boxing is real. They're gonna think that every fight is scripted now.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Hey,
that's not what we need.
I think
That's not what we need.
it can happen in these types of sports, I'm guessing, because you're not gonna have a YouTuber come out and compete in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not like in that sense, but maybe you have someone who's competed in the sport of football who maybe they get a big YouTube following and they get a tryout or something like that. Let's say they make the team or whatever.
Brock Lesnar tried that. It didn't work out well.
It didn't work for Brock. So you're right.
You know,
but it seems to be able to happen here.
Diverticulitis. He got punched in that shit. That motherfucker.
Only positive thing I'll ever say about Jake Paul, I do appreciate what he did for Ben Askren, who needed a double lung transplant.
Oh yeah.
And Jake Paul paid for all that. And while Dana White and other MMA promoters kind of just didn't really help the guy out, and I'll give because he looked definitely those pictures were gross. But it's kind of like with this Jake Paul crap, it makes me just think of every bad card we've seen in boxing scored. You know, they're just levels of fuckery, and his is just at the extreme level, and it's on this the showcasing for the world to see. You know what I'm saying? Who in their fondest memory or thought, whatever, would think that I'm watching Orange is the New Black on Netflix 10 years ago, and then I'm watching Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul on Netflix.
Yeah,
nobody would have thought about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
the first season of Stranger Things, and then it's like, whoa, they're promoting Jake Paul, and Stranger Things comes out on Christmas. Like, this is crazy. It's crazy.
Some of it, hey, I'll just say this, the numbers are crazy. So you know what I'm saying. So that is a driver for a lot of it there. And I just want to say that I guess it's be a kind of last thing I'll touch on it, but I think there is a place for Jake Paul in the sport by virtue of some of the things that have taken place and all of that stuff. As I mentioned, this novelty aspect, but I agree that this fight is not a good fight. And I don't know if it wins over any fans, if it loses fans, ultimately, maybe time will tell, but there seem to be a lot of people talking about it, and that's one thing that I will say, because I know for us, we probably all watch boxing on a weekly basis, multiple cards, sometimes multiple things up on different devices. That being said, usually, unless it's the top level of the sport, Crawford versus a Spence, Joshua versus Usyk or something like that, I don't get people that hit me up or text me or anything saying anything about boxing. But after a Jake Paul versus whomever fight, I usually get people that text me, especially after this one. People hit me up, you know what I'm saying, just talking about it, and they were wondering about, like, hey, what do you think about it? Now, a lot of it was whether it was legit or scripted or whatnot, so maybe that's not a good thing in that sense. But that being said, they were hitting me up, so it's interesting.
Yeah, Paul, he has a role in boxing. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Omar.
No, you're good. He does have a role in boxing. I'm assuming you're going to say as a promoter, and nothing of women's boxing. No.
He's his mouth is a duck butter collection plate.
Okay.
He could definitely sell out on his duck butter lip balm. Just like I said, you got to put an AJ stamp on it because it's that edition, and all the girls will buy it. You feel me? It's like the Erykah Badu vagina scented perfume candles that she has. You know what I'm saying? It'll sell out. I'm trying to help you out here, Jake Paul. Go and get that duck butter lip balm ready. You know what I'm saying? Jake Paul is the dude who won the bet. You know, the guy that said he could walk in the bar, stand on top of the bar, and piss everywhere and not get in trouble? That's him. That's him. He did. He stood on top of the bar, pull his meat out. You know what I'm saying? Pissed on his balls a little bit because his shit's so small.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm cooking. I don't like this dude, bro. I don't like what he's doing. I don't care. I don't care how anybody feel about it.
This was a Hail Mary for him because that last fight he had with Mike Perry, the numbers were really down from his previous ones, and he was people were kind of getting tired of him in boxing. So this was like a Hail Mary for him.
I love the synergy that we have on this show because all three of you touched on my next couple points here. I got some sports professor facts for you. First of all, in terms of how abominable this fight was, Joshua landed 48 of 146 punches, 33%, with 31 of those being, remember, 31 out of 48 in rounds 5 and round 6, which means he only landed 17 punches in the first 4 rounds. Jake Paul, on the other hand, landed 16 of 56, 29%, just abysmal, including zero in the 6th round where he was on all fours and basically got knocked out and mouthed the word wow or whoa to his brother because he was so surprised at how hard Anthony Joshua hit. On the other hand, as we mentioned, they watched this fight because of him. 44 million was the top line number worldwide, 26 million in the United States. So the eyes were on this like a major NFL game. So if that's what you're telling them, then that Netflix is going to get, Netflix is going to take those ratings all day long. Let's get some comments here. We got some questions. Shout out to our brother, Dirty Mojo. I know I'm catching up on these questions. I was just waiting for the right time. Tune into Sunday Showdown every Sunday after the night games, before the after day games, before the night games. But he says, do people watch Jake Paul for the fight or because they want to see him get beat up? Right? People watch. Well, exactly what we saw was that one punch put his ass on the canvas. That's what we had been looking for. Let's get to another comment here. Shout out our brother Champ Ross. Happy holidays. We appreciate you, brother. By the way, this is the Boxing Champs Fight Pick group. So if anybody wants to play in the group, it is free to play. You can win money. All you got to do is pick the outcomes of boxing matches. Yayo put the link there in the chat. So hit that up or let any of us know. Again, free to play, and you can win money. He says, Ernest Jake is going to send a cease and desist order on your ass. He also says the Hulkster estate should sue for defamation. Now let's talk about this because
I don't fuck with him neither.
There was a controversial entrance. First of all, Joshua, by the way, coming out with Freeway. When was the last time we saw Freeway? I was excited. I was kind of rapping along. Look, we ain't seen Freeway in a while. I don't know.
Hey man, you met the real Rick Ross, right?
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, man. Don't you can't mix the two up.
No, of course not. And Rick Ross's fake self with his stealing of identities was in the crowd.
Yeah,
the fake Rick Ross.
It's Miami.
Jake Paul, I know. Jake Paul came out adorned in Hulk Hogan inspired ring attire and with controversial rapper and snitch, shall we say, Tekashi 6ix9ine. Does anybody have any thoughts on this?
Another Miami person.
Troll. Both of them trolling real shit.
We're definitely some trolling.
Yeah, 6ix9ine troll rap, hip hop. He trolled it, and Jake Paul is trolling boxing. And both up, there's no place for either one of them. There's just not as a boxer.
6ix9ine's been doing the streamer thing lately. He's been with Aiden Ross and the rest of those guys.
Oh,
so
really? Okay.
it just he's been doing that stuff.
That's because he on probation.
It just makes sense for him to do that. He lives in Miami. Yeah. He ain't got nothing else to do. You know what I'm saying? I think he's going back to jail anyways, but he needs to chill out because his mom was robbed not too long ago.
Yeah.
They
kidnapped her.
The bathroom
they kidnapped her.
Yeah,
they held her hostage.
They held her
hostage. Yeah.
And
bro, you need to calm down, bro. You need to calm the fuck down.
Yeah, he does.
Right. And look, go ahead, Josh.
I just had one thing. It's one thing, and it was on what you had mentioned from a percentage standpoint, from an overall fight perspective. That 33 and 29%. That's not out of the customary. It is pretty abysmal, but you see that sometimes with even guys who are and they're legitimately two tough competitors. Now, from that round by round standpoint, that's when I think it really does shine out, and that's horrible. There, when you're talking about some of those low numbers and all of that stuff. Just
like the total overall punches being very low.
And then the 44 million, yes, those are eyes. So the streaming world is pretty interesting. I guess a lot like music in some sense with the streaming world and the change and all of that stuff. I wonder, and maybe there's something out there conversion wise, just thinking about it, how it translates as far as like the traditional boxing pay-per-view. They used to be a higher amount. So of course you look at Pacquiao Mayweather, that was 2.5 million or Was it 3? No, maybe it's 4 something.
It's like 4.
I think, yeah,
That was
$2.5
$100
million
a
might have
pop.
been Mayweather and De La Hoya at the time, and I think that might have been the highest for a long period of time. But certainly a difference between buying a pay-per-view that is $75, $85, $100 versus getting Netflix, which a lot of people already have. But that being said, that's an easier avenue for new fans and new people to get into the sport right there. So there's something to that as well. So I'm not saying one is better than the other, and I prefer certainly an easier access point, even network television when that's been done at different times. So it's just interesting with the numbers there. 44 million at that peak right there, and Netflix has a bunch of users, maybe 100 and something million or something like that. So I just wonder how it all translates.
UFC on Paramount, same thing gonna happen.
Exactly. And you know what else they did that was smart, which I would never normally say by going later was smart. They went later at 11:30 when the football and college games were ending. And by the way, they promoted the new Dave Chappelle special in the middle of it. So they knew they were trying to maximize as many eyes as possible for that.
Omar.
Not even the fight, but just the after as well. There was a comedy special.
Mauro Ranallo even said, for those of you guys tuning in after the game, welcome. He said that once the game ended, because I was watching the game. I had the game on, and I had the fight. I had the sound on the game. I just had to fight. Just look, I was watching. I was into the game, and then once it ended, Ranallo was just like, "Hey, everybody who watched the game, welcome to the fight." And I'm sure their stuff, skyrocketed.
And they definitely do that better than what Amazon does with the PBC cards, because you practically don't even see anything.
They don't even care.
It's crazy.
No promotion.
One fighting is promotion. Yeah, I remember probably Yayo said that one time, because we were both talking about that, how Amazon is just a facilitator of just, hey, you can watch it here.
Yep.
You think I'm going to put my money and promote this? Oh no, we're not doing that.
No, but they'll put the Thursday night football game on their regular Amazon page, the regular if you go shopping there, but they won't do that with the boxing.
No, they do it for one fighting sometimes too.
And they
one FC. I was going to know this. Yeah, I've seen them out there, but definitely not the boxing like that.
Second biggest promotion in the world in Vietnam.
And they came out the other day, and Amazon said they're getting their highest ratings for Thursday night football this year, 16 million.
They're killing it. They're killing it.
Shout out to Kristen Castleberry. Appreciate you tuning in, girl. Shout out. She says, I heard the fight was rigged, but who would break their jaw on purpose? If that goes against, Joshua going against the script, if there was one, we can talk about that. She also says this guy just sacrificed his face to get plummeted just to make money. Yep. She also says on Instagram that it's got to be about the money or false prestige. He gave the audience what they wanted. It's all strategic. It's all a bunch of bullshit, she says. Continue.
Well, I do feel like 100 million could help me with a broken jaw for sure.
For real.
Look, listen,
break my jaw.
I don't care.
Break my jaw for 100 million.
I'll be rapping through the wire.
Look, billionaires and multimillionaires have some weird hobbies, right?
Yeah,
they do because they've done everything else, so they're into that other stuff, right? I mean, to be honest, y'all saw how Jake reacted after getting his jaw broke. It was like he got an erection from that shit. Like he was like, "Woo!" I took one from the big black guy. I took the whole thing, right? That shit was weird, bro. Listen, bro, that's weird. I'm telling you, you ain't never seen nobody get their shit cracked open and just get excited about it. Like there's something wrong with that, bro.
Y'all ever seen that movie Surviving the Game with Ice-T?
Go ahead, John.
Y'all ever seen that movie Surviving the Game with Ice-T, where they out there hunting humans?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's something that happens for real. There's a story behind that.
The Condemned.
That's crazy.
There's a story about that. Yeah, there's a story behind that.
Insane, right?
Set somebody free out in the woods and hunt them for real. Yeah, there's stories behind that.
Oh shit! I'm sure that happens with rich people. Let's see. Dirty Mojo also says majority of people watching his fights are not boxing fans. Completely true, and shown by the majority of the people that were in that audience that night. Champ Ross also says I showed Speed as the next guy. I hear him talking about Carl Frampton.
Wow, he can get his block knocked off.
Interesting. Let's talk about the next guy for Anthony Joshua, the long-awaited Tyson Fury potential fight. It was immediately talked about on the broadcast. Does anyone have thoughts on that?
I think Fury's trying to be like Usyk and fight say he fought the big, the last one because he fought Usyk.
Okay.
You know, he fought Wilder. He just hasn't fought Fury.
Okay.
So, it wasn't.
And it was the one, the All Britain fight that they really
Should have
wanted.
been. Should have happened a long time ago.
It's past its shelf life for sure.
Yep.
So what's happening with money here, right?
No,
Where's this money being funneled to, right? Don't we have a human trafficking problem?
Fact.
Wasn't a Tate dude accused of doing some things like that?
Yeah.
But yet we're, what type of people are we giving millions of dollars to? Are we enabling them?
Too.
Are we enabling these guys to be able to continue on with what they're doing?
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you guys this, a serious question. If you had a daughter that was in boxing, right? And you've done everything you're supposed to do for her as a child, you've gotten her in USA Boxing, you've gotten her, to do trials and nationals and things like this. Would you entrust your daughter to be under Jake Paul or MVP Promotions to box? Would you entrust your daughter to go with them for her boxing career?
I mean, are you putting them against other boxing organizations that don't treat?
No, I'm asking you if you would let your daughter. Would you advise your daughter to sign with MVP Boxing?
Personally, if you're going to say, okay, daughter, you can go to any of these organizations, all of them are going to treat you like shit, but one is going to make you a lot more damn money. You make your choice.
No, I mean, it's the question. You answer
That's
the
what
question.
I would say.
Well, I think me personally, if it was my child, daughter or son or whatever, and it was Jake Paul and his organization is paying the most and putting on the fights and showcasing their fighters, first thing I would do is take that contract and take it to a lawyer. If it's legit, I'll do it. If it's not legit, I'm not doing it.
I would. Boxing is a cold game. You got a lot of dirty promoters and all of that out there.
Exactly.
That's Don King and Mike Tyson.
There's a select few that get to rise to the cream of the crop and all of that stuff. But what I will say is, yes, I know that I'd be there every step of the way. And I'd hope and I feel I know that my background in my professional life would help me guide her in the proper direction as we're going through this journey. And I would be there. So I would say yes. And as mentioned, he has a track record of a number of the top women in the sport that are signing with him. Now, that being said, what does that say about either his promotion or the other promotions as mentioned? Because a lot of them have jumped ship from more established promotions, whether that's Queensberry, Boxer, Matchroom, freaking Top Rank, or I don't know, but he has a lot of women under the stable there, so there has to be something tied into it. But yeah, you can go ahead there. It did after you finish that. I do have one thing there, Ernest, in regards to that financial aspect. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I don't think I would advise my daughter to do business with them until they really prove that they're there for the women. Because right now, what I see is not them being there for the women. I see them using the women as pawns in the game in order to enrich themselves and enrich people who have no good intentions for our sport whatsoever. They're just there to collect money. So I would say no. I would advise my daughter to talk to Salida Promotions. I would advise her to have a conversation with Layla Ali. Maybe our homie down there in Nashville. You know what I'm saying? Have a conversation with them and try to figure out what the best route to go, because I'm just not finna let no dude put my daughter on a track and be pimping her. I'm not about to do that. You know what I'm saying? And it would obviously, it wouldn't be my choice at the end of the day. It would be hers to make, but I would advise against it. Like, I wouldn't send my kid to go intern at Bad Boy or any other music label. I would do what Taylor Swift. I would do what Taylor Swift's dad did. I would invest in my child and do the marketing for them and get them where they need to be.
Hey, I think I hear what you're saying exactly. I do hear what you're saying, but I think some of the structure of boxing it's set up in a way where there's so many players involved in all of that stuff that there are going to be some organizations, companies, individuals, whether seedy or who only have the financial aspect for them individually, in their interest just the way that it's set up, because you had to have so many people involved, from the location, the venue, the networks. If you're aiming for a networks, the promoters, the managers, if you have that, there are some people doing it on the independent route without a promoter, and you have to move a certain type of way there. And of course, it's not apples to apples for all who are involved in those types of deals, where they're doing things on the independent side. That being said, yeah, there's always something that is a bit seedy, rough, and I guess you can say not necessarily, or there's. Yeah, there's a rough side, a dark side to the sport, no doubt about it. I would say that's the best way of putting it. And that made me think of this. I had wrote this down earlier, what you're talking about there. There is some of that aspect of, when you think about it from a financial perspective, where there can be some laundering and things of that nature. So you made a great point there, Ernest, on Tyson Fury and him not being able to travel to the U.S. No one from his family, essentially, because they were on the FBI's list or whatever, some kind of banned list. And that's because of their ties to this Russian mobster or
Irish.
Okay, yeah.
Anaheim cartel.
Cartel lead or whatnot. And for those that don't know, there used to be
blood in that mess.
Yeah, there used to be a boxing promotion called Pro Bellum, and they were scooping up a lot of top tier fighters. And then there were big promoters that were doing deals with them. Your top ranks of the sport, for sure, who had a deal with Pro Bellum. So Tyson Fury, he was co-promoted or some kind of joint agreement with Top Rank and Pro Bellum. And when this situation happened, where this guy came up on this list or whatever, this cartel leader and everything, then they broke ties with Pro Bellum, and Pro Bellum now no longer exists or whatnot. And they had
MTK Global
fighters. Yeah, MTK Global. Yeah, that's the other. I was trying to think of the other one as well. Pro Bellum and MTK Global. And if you remember from a certain time period, so say about between 4 and 7 years ago, when they were out there or whatever, you could just see them pop up all of a sudden. They're starting getting all of the top name fighters up there. Of course, Tyson Fury dealing with him, and he was the lineal champion at the time, so on and so forth. But you had a lot of them doing ties with them, agreement deals being made. I think Matchroom may have done something with them too, but I can't say that for certain, but they may have. But that being said, when all of this came out, they all of a sudden broke ties. Nobody wants anything to do with them. But that being said, they were enjoying and taking that money while it was happening.
Yeah, somebody that's on the ban list they say he in Saudi. Ain't that where Turkey at?
That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they say that's where he's at. So then all of a sudden we have Riyadh season.
No, I mean, that's all facts that you were spitting, Josh. Very good information. Thank you for that. Really appreciate it. Caden in the comments, 9226. Shout out. Thank you for tuning in. It says MVP promotes female boxers better than other promotions. Unfortunately, most promoters don't take boxing seriously. I think that's what I was trying to get at, and Josh was trying to get at. It's not that Jake Paul would be the best one to send her to. It would be that she would make the most money there, and no one's going to care about her wherever she goes. Now, obviously, there are women-led organizations, as you mentioned, that might be better off. And yes, I agree with you when you're actually looking at it in a more serious light than we are having a little jovial fun here. Yes, you might have a little more serious conversation and look into that a little more. But if you ask the average person, they're going to send them to where the most money can be made in such a corrupt sport. Champ says Eddie Hearn has been good for women's boxing. Also, Caden says the sport has been corrupted since the mob days in the early 20th century. So I mean, it's a corrupt sport.
Going back prior to that, I can tell you just from the history of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember Congress had the bull, Sammy the Bull. They interviewed him, and he had a conversation about fixing fights. Right? They talked about that on the congressional. There was a hearing about it over the mob's involvement in boxing.
And we're seeing that happen now in other sports too. With the NBA, we saw the gambling investigation.
God, they're so stupid in the NBA. God, man, they're so.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, no, I agree with Kate and Derek, but hey,
Yeah.
I can tell you 100%. If you go back 19th century, 18th century, yeah, some of the stuff that was taking place with these fighters, especially fighters of color, black fighters, or any other minority fighter, and how the playing field was for them, it's some crazy stuff right there. I can tell you that the corruption aspect of it, the dirtiness, and all of that has been a part of it pretty much since its existence.
Yeah. My bad. I missed this comment earlier, Bobby G. He said it was like watching Drago follow Apollo around with his fist got back to his trainer, let him loose. Speaking of Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. Shout out Rock Chalk. We appreciate you. The best true crime channel on YouTube. If you like true crime, you go check out Rock Chalk. She has great content over there. We appreciate you tuning in. Y'all make sure you subscribe at Rock Chalk on YouTube. And as well, yes, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got one other thing. And I was just thinking of it. I said I would let my daughter shine to, from that scenario to MVP, but there are certainly choices that have to be made, just thinking about it from an athlete's perspective, you as the fighter and all of that stuff, what you're willing to do and whether or not you're willing to compromise yourself, your morals and values and things of that nature for the benefit of, say, follower growth or more likes or things of that nature. Because I can say I have seen where a sort of, and I think if people just look at there has been a sexualized nature to some fighters I've seen, and not that it doesn't happen with any other promotions, but how they're growing and benefiting some of the women on the MVP side as far as they're on Instagram, things of that nature. Now, that being said, if you're that fighter, I suppose you would have a choice, you know what I'm saying? In if that's the route you choose to go or whatever. And if you don't go that route, it may hinder you from gaining millions of followers versus several thousand, you know what I'm saying? So that is an interesting aspect of it too that is out there. What are you willing to do and continue? Are you willing to compromise your own moral values?
Gosh, I hate that you made such a salient and amazing point while there was some bot in the comments making emojis that covered myself and Yayo are seeing.
I was literally like, what the fuck? What is this? Still doing it, dude. Get out of here.
At every emoji that he sent, it wasn't anything you were saying. We really appreciate everything.
Oh, no, I got you.
It made a lot of sense. And you're right. They do sexualize women fighters. And they still
point with that body paint too.
Yeah, just like Yayo said, right? And as well, what about the ring girls? We still have ring girls that go around in two-piece bikinis. So it's not
given that. Hold on, real quick. In relation to that, for women's fight, would you be cool with a guy in a Speedo going around the ring?
Me personally, if you want to put a Chippendale out there, make it equality. But do you think the majority will want it?
If they would have hired me, I'll do it.
You stupid.
Right.
I'll do it. If they want somebody dusty, I'll do it.
I'll feel you. Hey.
I'll do it with the Borat joint.
The club are gonna come out with the Oscar De La Hoya banana hammock. And
I'm gonna wear a singlet like Andre the Giant. I'll wear one singlet.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go beat on that door. Let it be known. We want equality in the ring.
Hey, $1. I'll pick it up. I don't care.
Yeah, man. If they did that, I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I probably wouldn't watch it if we being honest, because
I won't be there live. I know that if they did that.
Champ agrees a little bit with what we all said, and kind of gets to the point you were making earlier, Yayo. He says, I'm sorry, these comments go over your face, Yayo. Unfortunately, I can't do anything about it with the layout.
I ain't tripping.
I was upset they didn't put the 3 women's fights on the main card. Dubois should have been right underneath Baumgardner to build that fight. Instead, I highly doubt they matched them up, AB on another pad. I think I agree completely. Dubois should have been above the Tyron Woodley and Anderson Silva fight, even though they're bigger names.
The Costa of Vail fight.
Oh yeah,
man, that fight was cold, man. That was probably the best fight on the card, bro. Being honest. Like that should have been on the main card.
And I put it like this: if you want to promote the Dubois and Bud Baumgardner, you want to have her so that people can see who the hell she's talking about when she says, "Yeah, I might fight her next." You know what I'm saying? So I'm with that.
do y'all think that's a good fight next for both of
Yeah.
them?
Absolutely.
Yeah. It needs to happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
There's
with,
no
three-
reason it
with
shouldn't be
3-minute
next.
rounds.
Yeah,
With
we
3
got to
minutes.
be with 3-minute rounds.
With
Right.
3-minute rounds, that would be an incredible fight. It would absolutely be incredible. I mean, I've already pictured in my head how it would go, but that would be a fight that would need to be studied because Caroline Dubois she's for real. You know what I'm saying? She's highly skilled. She's highly skilled, and we just haven't had an opportunity to see her use all the things that she has in her tool bags. Because I promise you, if you guys want to see knockouts, give her an extra minute to work with. You know, she'll
Wonder how the
she'll put
household
most
was
of them
with her
down.
brother, her and her brother. I wonder how that household was.
Oh, you know, that's funny, boy.
He has no personality. He has
Yeah.
nothing.
He hey man, I'm convinced her brother was hatched. He looked like a Jurassic human. That
He's
boy
like a
looked
Cooper Trooper. He's a straight Cooper Trooper. Like,
you know what I mean?
Like a super trooper, yeah, like a Goomba.
like he'll say, "Hey guys, I said a joke."
The small
Like, we
head,
heard
big
you.
body
You know,
built
when
boy.
Y'all remember the Mario Luigi movie when they had
Yeah,
the
so he
big
looked like-
alien that had the dome?
Like,
All right.
yeah, no type of personality.
Cover D, we have to wait for Josh to get back to get his final answer on that fight we were talking about. But until he gets back, talk to us about these MMA fighters that fought each other. Tyron Woodley versus Anderson Silva. Both want to continue fighting. Anderson, 50 years old, knocked Tyron Woodley out with a mean uppercut.
Didn't I
put it
tell
like
y'all that
this.
was gonna happen though?
This is-
I called the Silva knockout. I called it.
It's one of those things where you got two legends in their own weight classes in the UFC and mixed martial arts. Those are two legends. One of the best to ever do that at their weight classes. And the problem is, Silva was known for his hands and his feet and his knees and his elbows. Woodley, he later on he had power in his hands when he knocked out Koscheck and a couple others. But he's a wrestler. I'm not a fan of seeing them fight like this. Just a sidebar, only one I kind of am happy to see him do well in boxing is Tony Ferguson, who won again. He's not a bad boxer, but it's just this. The original circus match was supposed to be Silva versus Roy Jones. Dana stopped that because he was still an active fighter. They didn't want to do it, and now that they're both, they can do it. I don't see why that fight hasn't happened. It was cool just to see, like, hey, 50-year-old Anderson Silva in the ring still doing his thing, but we saw him against Jake Paul. We know what type of boxer he is. It's not, it's not for him. He can knock out MMA guys. He can knock out a boxer. Ain't gonna happen. He now I will say against Chavez he looked good, but it's Chavez Jr. So,
Another person who's supposed to be in the Misfits League.
yeah,
Right. He should be there for sure. Hey,
and he fought Jake Paul, and that was
embarrassing,
So.
embarrassing right there for sure.
With,
Hey, I thought it was trash, to be honest with you. And if you want to make a strong case for the women or someone else being on the main card, I don't see that fight brought any true or real value from a fan perspective or anything of that nature. Of course, the knockout, in hindsight, of course, or now that we know it, the knockout happened. Yeah, that's something that you will see on some replays and things of that nature, and they will benefit from that from a social media standpoint and all that stuff. But I can't say that there was a reason that fight had to be on the main card, and I don't think that it drew in any people. I wouldn't think. Maybe there are some MMA fans who wanted to see Silva and Woodley, of course, but just for them to box, I thought it had no real value.
It was supposed to be Chris Weidman, and people did want to see that because Silva wanted his get back at Chris Weidman, but
he had to pull out. Even that, you know what I'm saying? Boxing, Weidman more a wrestler,
he's a wrestler, 100%. He's a wrestler.
So again,
but he did knock out Silva though.
How is that good for boxing?
I think it's not. I think it helps more in physical ticket
sales. Helps with the clown
sales.
show.
I do think physical ticket sales, it would have helped out more. If people are like, I can see Anderson Silva versus Tyron Woodley live. Okay, cool. Fuck, that sounds good. But live on Netflix or for boxing fans, no value whatsoever, Josh.
I was going to say they complained about Woodley and his style as an MMA fighter. Dana White complained about him, talked trash about him, and all that stuff. So certainly, he's not one who brought the views in that sense,
Straight Cirque du Soleil. You got two dudes who ain't officially boxers, and one is a last-minute replacement. You should have just canceled the fight altogether. Like you said, it added no value. There was nothing really to see other than homie starching homie,
That knockout
and
was crucial.
having them
He woke up like
face
he was ready for
down,
work. He said, "Where am I?"
face down, Diddy side up.
Woodley wasn't in shape for that anyway.
No, I think they fought at cruiserweight or something.
Anderson saved him, bro. He was really about to be Diddy sided up.
Well,
he held him up on the way down.
He said he got called up, 2 days before the fight?
No, it was like 2 weeks. I think it was like 2 weeks.
2 weeks? Okay.
2 weeks notice.
All right, so finally, gentlemen, we do have to answer this question that we asked earlier. Josh, we'll start with you. Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury next. We got to get some straight answers. What say you?
Well, I say that, of course, I'll watch it, and it might ultimately be a decent fight still, even at this stage. At one point, and this was when, I guess you could say they were both in their prime, depending on how that parallel was there, whatever it may be. This, at one point, I thought that Anthony Joshua would beat him. I wanted to see that fight. I thought it was one of the top fights in boxing. By the same token, I also thought that Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder at one particular point could have been the top fight in boxing. You know what I'm saying? If things would have worked out in a different way, you know what I'm saying? Joshua not get knocked out against Andy Ruiz and all of that stuff, and did what transpired between Wilder and Fury. So unfortunately, we didn't get that, but this was also going to be one of those, certainly a top 10 fight in the sport, just thinking about the viewership and expectations, certainly from a domestic standpoint. Now, I think they'll generate a lot of people who come out, show support, because it's going to be a domestic fight, and the British fans, they show up, show out, as we all know. I think it's an interesting fight. Whether it moves the needle, I don't think it will move the needle. I will say it will move the needle to a certain degree, but in terms of implications for the heavyweight division as a whole, I don't think either one of them, or at least I feel that regardless of who wins, that shouldn't shoot them to the top of the line or anything. I don't want to see Usyk in there with either one of them again, because he's already beat both of them twice, and therefore we just need to see Usyk take on some of these other guys that are out there who could give him a challenge for sure.
So what would you do differently for each of these fighters then, would be my counter question to you.
At this stage, no. I think this is the best fight for the two of them right now. I agree that this is the best fight, the biggest fight for the two of them that can be made right now, because when you look at it as far as Usyk being the guy and then who else is around it, I don't think they can generate a bigger audience or whatever it may be without each other in the way that they're going to be able to generate this over in the UK, depending on where it will be, whether that's Wembley or O2 Arena, whatever it may be. So I do think this is the best fight for the both of them at this stage. And I do, if you're looking at it from a prediction standpoint on where things stand right now, I favor Tyson Fury at this particular stage. Like I said, that's why I brought up the point that previously I favored Anthony Joshua, but I do feel that Joshua, there's something that happened with that knockout loss to Andy Ruiz that changed how he reacted to knockouts, because we saw him get dropped by Klitschko, and that was a tough one. He got up, did his thing. Matter of fact, he got up a few times against Ruiz, but I think after that, a lot of things changed, and maybe even from a confidence perspective, certainly going up against someone like Tyson Fury, who's going to be all over him from a verbal standpoint. Just think about the press conference. It's going to be crazy. So I favor Fury, and I do think it's the best fight for the two of them at this stage. Still,
I agree completely. And Clubber D, I have talked about this fight for years and how it is a little late, but they're still two of the best fighters from Britain that are going to make the most amount of money at this point, even still, because of their heavyweight status and their name status and all that. Clubber D, what do you got? Yeah, I know. I'm at my grandma's house in the country in Puerto Rico, so there's no.
I'm looking at this one from Jack Wiseman.
Oh, look at both of those. Lord have mercy. I mean, if you could sell out 2 soccer arenas for Conor Benn and Chris Eubanks in a non-title fight, just think what they're going to do with this. Okay, I think Yayo has said it before. There's not much to do over there, and not many, things they can do on the weekend. So this is just going to have everybody come see this fight, even though it's past its prime. We all paid. I know I paid $100. Actually, I taped a DVR of the damn match because I was in a wedding, but when Mayweather fought Pacquiao, they were in their late 30s and they fought. You know what I'm saying? It was past when we wanted to see it, like 4 or 5 years too late. Spence versus Crawford is about 5 years past when we want to see it. So people are still going to want to see this fight, even though it's past its prime, and it's going to sell out. And we're going to talk about it. And Fury is going to dog walk him.
Yeah, and I agree. I think at this point, the way that Anthony Joshua was unable to hit a ducking Jake Paul, Tyson Fury is very slick. Very, very slick. And the way that he moves around that ring awkwardly as well, with that awkward style of his, it's going to be hard for him to catch as well. So, yeah, I would have Tyson Fury as well there. Yeah, what you got?
Well, I'm going to tell you what boxing does. Boxing likes to have a representation as the face of boxing. Usyk, they like Usyk to be the face of boxing. Jake Paul, they love for him to be the face of boxing. Canelo Alvarez was the face of boxing for the longest time. Tyson Fury, they try to make him the face of boxing, right? Do you see what we have? We have a whole bunch of failures except for one, Usyk, and Usyk he's not being pushed in a way to where he should be the face of boxing, but he deserves an honorable mention there based off of what he's done. And he should be talked about more, right? Because based off of what his deal is. But like you guys said, man, back to the Joshua Fury thing. So Joshua's fought at Wembley Stadium at least 3 times, right? At least 3 times. And it doesn't really matter who they put in Wembley Stadium. They're going to sell out because let's just say there's 10 million people in the UK. And there's a wait list for events at the Wembley Stadium, and they have 90,000 there. So no matter what event they put on there, it's going to be packed out because people are they're in line waiting to be able to go to an event there. So it's going to look like something spectacular. Cool. I honestly, I think, to your point, Omar, I think Fury is a much larger guy. He would be easier to hit in the body for sure. Joshua could definitely get to him. We've seen him get to some fighters before. He could get to him, but I think Fury he would put on a masterclass at boxing and probably something like 3rd, 4th round. Because if he fought Fury the way that he fought Deontay Wilder in the second fight where he just went forward and he did that, it could get bad early.
Ugly quick.
Yeah, it could get bad early. So I think Fury would probably do him bad, man, and I don't want to see it. I feel like Anthony Joshua, I feel like Deontay Wilder, I feel like all these guys have made enough money, and for them to really actually be putting it on the line against somebody who's a killer just like they are, is at this point, you know what I'm saying, just let it go, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. As Anthony Joshua, this might be your last chance left. And if you get a shot at Fury and can somehow magically knock him out, and then you get a shot at a world championship, I think you got to take it at this point.
Do you?
Fabio Worley would knock
the curl
out of his head.
I would. I don't know.
Bro, heavyweights ain't nothing to be playing around
Fabio
with.
Worley would knock the curl out of Joshua's hair. He didn't want that.
Right. Previously, I didn't think that Fury could knock out Joshua, but now I think he definitely could. I just feel like, there's something there despite these last several fights. But if you really look deeper into it, I still think that he's a different fighter from when he fought Andrew Ruiz.
It's too stiff.
And
you got Caballero out there.
Caballero would chop that body down.
Yeah.
Body
you got
snatcher.
Caballero. I think Bacoli will leave him slobbering. You know what I mean?
It depends on what Bacoli. Depends on what Bacoli.
I saw a picture of Bacoli in the gym a few weeks ago. Now I don't know how long he's been there, but
I like to do that.
what about Zhang? Big Bang
I think,
Zhang.
I think even Zhang, if
Zhang-
Zhang was
Zhang get
catching Joshua with that left straight, he was catching Juggernaut Joyce with. Oh,
Might do a whirly dirly like Wilder did. Like, well, what was that? Turn
flipping
around.
at it.
Yeah.
You know? And shout out
Excuse me.
Unc Dre, my guy Unc Dre.
Hey, Josh, I was
Great
just about to say you've got a paid for chat, so you know you need to salute this person.
Yes, sir. Young knockout. Glad I caught you on my way to work. Appreciate you there. Unc Drake, folks. Go hit him up. Follow him. Salute that to you, Unc Drake, holding it down. As always, appreciate you, my guy.
Put some color in the chat.
Jose Diaz says even Alexander said Terrence Crawford is the best pound for pound.
Same with Bivol.
Kaden says Joshua has some power, but he has a bad chin, so I don't know. In reference to Fury, Champ Ross says Fury Joshua, we got to see it. It's a UK special. Jose Diaz says that fight would sell.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Both of them are chinny. Both of them have hit the canvas several times. Anthony Joshua got famous from getting up off the canvas to put Klitschko down. So these guys have been known to, hit the canvas.
That uppercut was crazy. Like when he gave that uppercut to Klitschko, I saw the bottom of his tailbones all the way up here, the way his neck snapped up.
Yeah, that was crazy right there. And the way he got up there, he was confident still in that one. Which is crazy to think about it with Ruiz, who I know, none of us expected to end it like that or to end like that specifically, And Joshua had caught Ruiz with a hell of a damn shot too to drop him.
Oh yeah.
That was a big one right there. So I say Ruiz has a chin from taking that.
Well, we'll see what happens if Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury finally do fight. And we'll also see what happens with Jake Paul. Will he ever fight again, or will he walk away with all the money that he made? It is still to be seen. That being said, again, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe at Ball and Buds, BALLANDBUDS on YouTube. Handy QR code there will take you to all our social medias, including Clubber D's YouTube at Clubber D. As well, you can find Josh at 86 Boxing and 86 Boxing TV, and Papi Chunyeo at Papi Chunyeo on IG. We are here for the Boxing Champ Fight Picks group, which Papi Chunyeo put that link in the comments for you all. If you would like to join the group, it is free to play. You just pick boxing match outcomes, and if you win, you can win money. And again, it's just free, so it's it is very fun, and you'll enjoy talking shit with all of us in the group. And as well, again, shout out to Champ Ross for doing all that work that you do. We really appreciate that. And yeah, let's go ahead. We have some fights to pick for this weekend, 2 fights before we get you out of here. So that way, y'all can at least get a little fight pick special. First of all, we have Junto Nakatani, 31-0, 24 KOs versus Sebastian Hernandez, 20-0, 18 KOs. These are 2 undefeated fighters, 12 rounds for the junior featherweights. Yayo, we'll start with you. Who do you got in this fight for the fight picks?
Yeah, man. Listen, this fight is gonna be a great fight. There's nothing that I can take from either fighter. Based off of the fights that I've seen them watch in the past. I for a while I didn't really want to believe Junto Nakatani. I felt like his opposition wasn't it wasn't really a high level opposition, but man, after watching him fight a few more times and going back and rewatching, I think he's the goods, man. I do think he's the goods. He is going to be tested in this fight, and I hope for his sake that he move his head, because that's one thing that we've learned about Japanese fighters. They have a habit of leaving their head on the center line, and left hooks just tend to send them all over the place. You feel me? We seen that with the guys going to fight in the main event. Left hooks are their arch nemesis. So
Luis Nery got him.
Yep. So I'm thinking this fight's gonna have about 4 knockdowns, maybe 2 from each man. At the end of the day, I'm gonna ride with the home team. I think Nakatani, he'll be able to pull something from his people, and I think he'll be able to get the job done. But like I said, I'm thinking at least 2 knockdowns, but I'm thinking 4, something like. I'm thinking a large number of knockdowns, and I think I'm gonna ride with Nakatani. I don't think it goes the distance. I think I'm gonna go with Nakatani probably round 10.
Ooh,
Round
I
10.
see that.
Nakatani. What you got, Josh?
Yeah.
Switch
I
my thing
already
down.
picked it in my little app, or well, I put it in the notes section on my phone. I picked split decision for Nakatani, but I do think it's going to be a damn good fight. Nakatani should be tested. That dude got 18 knockouts and 20 victories, so I'm thinking he's got a punch to him, folks. If you don't know, and if you don't like the or don't know of the smaller weights, folks, this is where you get some of the best fights in the sport for sure. Because a lot of these guys and gals go unnoticed. And I like Nakatani. I think he's as advertised as Ernest mentioned there. I mean, we saw him start to rise on the scene, and then as time has gone on, man, he's got some pretty impressive work he's put in out there. And I like the fact that he's so long that when he launches some of those hooks, man, they're coming from back, and when they land, it's crazy. So yeah, there may be some knockdown. I got Nakatani via split decision here, and this. If I'm not mistaken, is this his first fight at 122? Because he had vacated 118. Let me see.
Here in a second.
It might be his first fight at 122, if I'm not mistaken. So Super Bantam, yeah, that's 122. So I think this is. Let me double check here, but I think so. So that adds even more value to it if it's the case, because I think that ultimately, it seems we know who's next, and we're going to talk about that in the next fight prediction, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and I agree with both of you. So I'm gonna combine kind of the reasons that each of you had. I have Nakatani because, as we see he's just, and I'm not going to use Inoue's name, so pardon the pun, but he's just a beast, right? He's a savage. But also, as you mentioned, both of these guys, they're coming out to KO the other man. The majority of their wins have come by KO. So I assume that they're going to be trying to knock each other out as soon as possible. I got Nakatani KO 6. This is going to be a war. Clubber D, what you got?
I had same as Yayo. I had 10. Nakatani, I was same way. I was like, why is this guy on a pound for pound list? Thinking all these other fighters that should be on that list. I wasn't believing the hype until I really started watching him fight. This guy's no joke. You're something special, even though this is a Christmas show. When they have a building named after you from Die Harder Part 1, you're something special, Nakatani. If anyone gets that joke, probably not. But anyways, I'm going to go Nakatani KO 8, and it's going to be back and forth seesaw. I'm guessing. I think he's going to learn to move his head by at least by round 3, but he will hit the ground at least once. And I'm going to say about 5 knockdowns total before he takes him out in the 8th round.
Definitely knockdowns, maybe even, you never know. Could be on both sides. Shout out to Morning Wombat. We always
Wombat.
That's the man right there.
Appreciate it. Hey, look, you've been asking to get in the group, and then we kind of lost contact there. Let me know, brother. We got to get you in there. We got to.
I'll let us Morning Wombat.
The link is in there as well. As you can see, Papi Chunyeo posted that link in there. And as well, Champ Ross says the new season starts January 10th. So this is the last week of the year. New season starts January 10th. So make sure that y'all join us immediately. Champ also says Nakatani in a way set for spring. If both win, yes, that's what we're hoping to see. That being said, thank you for that segue. Let's move into the Monsters fight. This is for all of the bantamweight. Is it bantamweight or featherweight? Excuse me. Super bantamweight. Wait, which is it for?
This is going to be Super Bantam.
Super bantamweight. All the super bantamweight championships. Thank you, Josh. You got the Monster Inoue at 31-0, undefeated. Picasso 32-0-1 draw. So very good record there as well. Monster is 7 years older, while Picasso has both a 3-inch height advantage and a 2-inch reach advantage. Clubber D, we'll start with you on this fight. What are your thoughts?
Picasso is going to paint a picture, no pun intended. I think he's going to use his length. He's going to use his length early in the fight. The Monster is going to take Inoue a little while to get in close, okay, to touch that chin. I feel like the first 3 rounds, people are going to be nervous. And then since we already had that monster fight lined up, I got the Monster pulling away towards the end of the fight. I got a split decision going with the Monster.
All right.
Go all the way.
Decision, the Monster. Josh, who you got?
I think I actually did split decision as well, but I need the split decisions or something to win that little thing I'm leading in right now. You know what I'm saying? But hey, Picasso, Mexican fighter, young cat, who this is definitely a step up for him. This is going to be the toughest fight of his career in all likelihood. And I think he's a good boxer. He's a darn good boxer. He's a Mexican fighter, as noted. But that being said, he's not a come forward type of brawler guy, though he does have a little moxie to him. He will be there in there to box. I think some of those tools will help him out here for a period, but I don't see him going the distance, to be honest with you. Or he may go the distance. I did pick split decision, but I could see him potentially being stopped at some point in the contest midway or late as well, because I just think it's a big jump for him competition wise fairly soon. But hey, you know, if you get opportunities like this, you have to take them. You know, you're going to get likely your biggest payday, of course, is your biggest opportunity, a shot at world championship status. But I just think, yeah, this will be a learning lesson, hopefully, for Picasso in terms of, regardless of what happened, he continues forward and tries to kind of rebuild himself. But I do favor, of course, the monster Inoue.
Oh my God.
The monster Inoue, while Bronson hit Clevenger with a monster in his face.
Yeah. Got him on the inhale.
You don't know, any dog owner knows that one.
You stop feeding the dog broccoli and milk.
I almost called him out of his name. Oh my God, Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
man, he hold up in his mouth.
Yeah, yo, what you got on this fight?
Yo, man, listen. You know, as per usual, your boy Yayo is in it to win it. I'm right there at the top where it's tighter than Frog's ass. I need about a swing, maybe 3 fights, maybe, you know, maybe a top 3 finish. You know what I'm saying? For me to be able to take the whole thing home, all of it. You feel me? So, I ain't gonna lie, man.
Get it.
Hey, I'm going with him by stoppage. I'm riding with the underdog, baby. Yeah, I am.
Picasso?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm taking the young bull by stoppage. The old bull done told the young bull, he said, hey, man, look, if you just walk down the hill, you can fuck all of them. You know what I'm saying? So I think Picasso is still going to run down the hill. He going to catch Inoue slipping, and he going to do what other people couldn't do. He going to finish him off. Let me tell you why. You know what I'm saying? Throughout these last probably 40 years or so, we've seen sports writers try to take these dudes that can do jumping jacks under a car, you know what I'm saying, and put them in the pound for pound #1 spot. And what happens every time? They get exposed, they get upset. We've already seen your boy get sat down with left hooks. Now we got a young brother with reach, you know what I'm saying, fast hands, catching my man coming in. Woo! You don't move your head, it could get bad real for you. So I'm taking my man Picasso by stoppage, and I'm saying it's gonna be in the first half of the fight. First half of the fight. Yep, that's what I'm saying.
The monster. So you're
I'm taking Picasso by stoppage.
So you're essentially saying younger, bigger, faster, and that's why.
That's what I'm saying. I'm riding with the underdog.
With that underdog thinking,
by stoppage.
They already said, obviously, the Nakatami, I'm about to call him something else. They already got that fight lined up, and then he already said in an interview he wants Bam also. So this is the perfect, you know, ripple effect to ruin everyone's plan.
Yeah, fuck it
all up. I can see that scenario.
Fuck it all up.
Picasso's gonna need to be a special fighter for that to happen. Not that he isn't.
He's gonna paint the picture. He's gonna paint the picture, Josh.
Yeah, hey, I don't see it. But that being said, if he's a special fighter, he can make it happen because we have seen it before. And my thing would be, hey, Nakatani. I mean, not Nakatani, but in a way, he's been dropped multiple times and all that stuff. But hey, he got back up and he finished the fight. You know what I'm saying? So I give him that for sure. He's got
something
there in that beard.
7.
TKO 7. I agree with what Josh just said there. Inoue is proven. He has 5 years experience on him. He's the monster for a reason. He has an 87% KO percentage, 27 of his 31 wins by KO. Look, this Picasso guy, he paints pictures, and I'm sure they're very nice, maybe even Bob Ross like happy trees and shit, but he's no monster, and he's about to see some nightmares, the things that Inoue Pause is about to put on him. I got Inoue KO 7. The monster's going to go in and put a whooping on him so we can get this mega fight we want to see between him and Nakatani. So there you go. Let's go ahead and get into some comments real quick. Finish this off here. Champ Ross says 86 Rock Boxing. Josh is also in the running for the decisions category, $50. Yeah. Jose Diaz says the monster. That's who he's choosing. He doesn't like left-handed. Oh, that's not who you're choosing. He says he doesn't like left-handed fighters.
No,
that
sir.
Left to the chin has dropped him before.
Yes,
Very
sir.
true.
And then Champ says Ernest going upset city, baby, picking. Yeah, I guess at this point, if you want the win, right, you got to go against the grain and at least one or two of those fights where you think is like a consensus where everyone's going to go one way and you just go the other.
Hey, I'm the dude that hits those most of the time.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, we appreciate y'all tuning in. I got to be done before 2 hours so I can try to get some AI clips on here. So we'll let the gentleman sign out. Yayo, sign out, my brother.
Yeah, man. Hey, look, happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, all that, whatever you guys celebrate, you know what I mean? Personally, it's a time to be with family and to definitely enjoy the food, be off work, you know what I'm saying? And fuck them if they didn't give y'all no bonuses or no presents. You know what I mean? But hey, listen, if y'all didn't have money this year to be able to get your kids presents and stuff, y'all need to teach them that that's not what's important. What's important is the quality time that you're spending with them, the memories you're making, the jokes you're cracking, you know, your uncle drinking too much and saying stuff he ain't supposed to, you know what I mean? That's stuff you need to cherish. Love your pets, hug on them, you know what I'm saying? Find a homeless person, give them a meal, shoot them a jacket, some blankets or something like that. That's what all this is about. We know we're better than, you know, what we're being portrayed around the world. And I just feel like, you know, at this time of the year and most times of the year that we should be giving back to people and trying to be supportive, because there are people that are going through things that y'all may not understand, and just try to understand.
Yeah, facts. I mean, I'm so people who watch Ball and Buds, they've heard me essentially say what you've said on so many occasions. There are a lot of people out there that have a lot worse lives than we do on this program. And those people need to be supported, especially during this time of need, during a holiday season where they may not have the support that we have, family, and some people don't even have friends. So, you know, just give a smile. A kind word always helps. Even a donation or giving somebody a jacket on the street or something like Yayo said is always good. Make sure you find him at Papi Chun Yayo, always very insightful on IG. Josh, what you got? You're on mute, brother.
He got the mute. That's what he got.
Well, hold up.
He was ready too. He was backing up.
Yeah, I was ready. I had my stuff drawn out, wrote my little thing down. But no, I agree with everything that you all stated there, gentlemen. And yeah, this is a time to celebrate your family, all of that stuff. Or like I said, the material things ultimately don't matter in that sense, you know what I'm saying? So enjoy that time, you know, and we stand with everyone for sure. I want to shout out Community Kinship Coalition because they've been doing their thing. They did a coat drive here recently. And as a matter of fact, today was the day that they were coat and toy drive. They were distributing everything. So I was happy to be able to support that. PVA, shout out to all the PVA boxers who did their thing this year. Potomac Valley Association, that's in this area right here. Many of them went down there, got some championships in the last national tournament of the year. So we're doing a boxing banquet on the 27th, and it's going down in Hyattsville, Maryland there. Palmer Park, really, I guess you can say that. Palmer Park, where Sugar Ray Leonard is from, ultimately. So you'll see that out there on the social media and all of that stuff. And, yeah, outside of that, just, yeah, enjoy this time, you know, because that's one thing you can't get back. Time, folks, and I appreciate you. Be sure to check out the channel, all that good stuff. We got the Jack Dempsey shirt that I'm rocking on there.
Yes, sir.
Where it works, the QR code will take you to the Dempsey video that I did. I'm going to be taking them down soon, so if you want one, you better go get them. I'll put a hoodie up there. Some people requested a hoodie. I'll put a hoodie up there, and then be in tune for 86boxing.com for about to have some stuff jumping off there too, for sure. But more to come in that regard. So appreciate everybody.
Yes, sir. Summer D.
Yeah, you know what? I need to hit you up because I need a hoodie also. I need one of those
Got you.
in the arsenal. I'm gonna hit you up later about that. I'm gonna challenge anybody, everybody out there before the year is over with. If you have any grievances with anybody, or if you felt you've been done wrong or someone has done you wrong, forgive them. Move forward for next year and let that stuff behind it in 2025. It's gonna be 2026. Start a new you. Don't just talk about it, be about it. Okay. Send a text message to somebody you haven't talked to them. Say, hey, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. That's it. Okay. If they don't text back, at least you did your part. Also, to all the fantasy football people out there, okay, if you're in the championship like myself and you're tired of your team getting screwed I lost Lamar Jackson, I lost Judkins, I lost Kittle, I'm still there, I'm still fighting, I'm crawling my way to the championship, and I want to get it. I probably will lose again, but I'm trying, gosh darn it, and I'm not going to quit. So y'all don't quit either. Clubber D at YouTube.
Never quit, never give up. Thank y'all for everybody tuning in. We really appreciate all the comments, all the love. Please hit that like button now. If you're still watching, hit it for us. It helps all of us here. Even if you're watching on the replay, that like button will help everybody in the algorithm, get us out to more people that have not heard of us. So we really appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you tap in again with everybody's channels, and make sure you subscribe at Ball and Buds, BALLAND. BUDS on YouTube, handy QR code over there. It'll take you to all our social media. Subscribe to the YouTube, follow on Instagram, all of that great stuff. I'm gonna end with just saying pretty much what everybody else said is what I want you all to go do, and just enjoy family as well. Enjoy your friends. People are not here forever. I unfortunately lost my grandmother last week, so y'all keep your people close, and always tell the people that you love them, because you never know when is their last day. And that being said, we love y'all, and we will see y'all in 2026. Be blessed, happy holidays, and a happy new year. Holla.
Bang, bang.
Ready to form Voltron. Activate interlock. Mega thrusters are go. Let's go!
Yeah, motive is be what the fuck they told us we couldn't be. But know that there's police that's dumping off at the look of me. The mechanics had them wide like tucking a rat. Hammer up in the back of the radio where all of my latest go. Still running to the pay. Jesse Owens shit. Metals get the swinging, so it's these you gotta go against.
These you gotta go against. G spitting common sense. Suffering succotash. The speed seem innocent. Power in the land, suckers in for rands, causing scuffs and incidents. Street professor jab, hook jab, uppercut, arm, leg, arm, head, dawn, bread, fat lady, a song red, total blackout, meth red, none better. Sports professor, boxing champs, KOs, and heavy hitters. And the new boxing champions of the world. Clubber D, 86 Boxing, Skywalker Boxing Media, Bobby Chuyayo, and the Sports Professor featuring Sky Zoo and Anno Domini Productions. Let's get it on, baby.